Well, we'll get into the main topic, but for now, we're going to do some homework on it, or
Okay.
what I call it. So it's kind of a lot of the appearances of Daredevil in the past 10 or 20 years or so. So we'll do a ranking of how Daredevil was in each of these. So if you've seen it, we can talk about it, good or bad. I try to go chronologically. So if anybody's seen Spider-Man, the animated series, Daredevil and a bunch of other ones showed up in that one. If anybody's seen that version, goes back a little bit. Any 90s kids out there?
You know,
I remember watching
don't remember.
I remember watching the show, but yeah, I don't remember that.
Same.
It was good. It was the introduction of Wilson Fisk as the Kingpin, because Daredevil knew who he was. He was tracking him down. Spider-Man barely knows, just taking on his henchmen and stuff. So they were able to fight each other and then team up and then take on Fisk. Am I the only one who's seen it?
I've seen the show, but that was a great show, but I can't remember how Daredevil looked.
Okay.
Yeah. Long ago.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I may have seen an episode or two, but I know nothing about it.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's a pretty good show, and they do a really good team up. Yeah, because Spider-Man in that show meets up with the X-Men. They do their own Secret Wars too, which we'll probably talk about later when the Secret Wars comes out. Battle World and stuff like that.
And we talked about this backstage, but Daredevil and Spider-Man are both street level superheroes, so it makes sense. And they both work in New York, so it makes sense that they would meet up and collaborate, because they weren't like the Avengers; they were kind of the street level heroes. So yeah, makes sense.
Both wear red.
They weren't unionized. They weren't unionized in the superhero union, so to speak.
Yeah, because Daredevil fights Kingpin, which is in Spider-Man, right?
Yep. That's kind of a Spider-Man in this show. Spider-Man's main villain.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover between Daredevil and Spider-Man. And in fact, if you haven't seen it, Spider-Man is actually mentioned in passing in the new Daredevil show.
Really?
In passing. I'm not going to give away what in reference it is to, but yeah.
Okay. And then we got the Ben Affleck version of Daredevil.
Oh, yay.
Early 2000s.
I liked it at the time.
I know Favreau was in it. He was Foggy. I can't remember if he directed or not.
I've heard the director's cut is better, but I haven't seen it, so I can't really judge. But I mean,
Jennifer
at the time,
hot.
When it came out at the time, it was a lot along the lines of the Daredevil show or the Marvel shows that were out at the time. You had the Fantastic Four, you had Spider-Man. I thought it was okay for the time because what we got, a lot of it was a lot cheesier then. But
yeah,
yeah,
I thought Jennifer Garner played Elektra really well. What's his face who plays Daredevil in that?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Yeah.
It was goofy, but it was fine to me.
Yeah, it was definitely a very cheesy kind of version of it. Farrell.
He ate up the scenery in this.
I really did not like him. He was dumb. He was dumb.
What's crazy is they had Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction as Kingpin. I don't think anybody cared at all. There's a lot of controversy with this now, but Marcellus Wallace was just.
Oh no, that was the other guy.
You see Kingpin in there?
Yeah, that's right. They did race swap him.
Yeah, that's Michael Duncan.
Yes, exactly. That guy.
Oh, right.
No, is that Ving Rhames? Ving Rhames, isn't it?
Or Ving Rhames? No, Ving Rhames is smaller. Michael Duncan.
That's Marcellus Wallace. Well, Marcellus Wallace is Ving Rhames.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's Michael Duncan, because Michael Duncan's the bigger guy. He's the one that passed away a few years ago.
Yeah. I didn't know at the time because I'm not a comic book guy. I didn't even know they race swapped him.
Nobody said anything. Like, it's interesting. He did a good. I remember seeing the movie. It was okay, I guess, but
it came after the X-Men movies. X-Men was out in 2000. This was 2003. It was that early. It was a spandex time for superhero movies.
Yeah,
I know that. Did we decide? Is it Ving Rhames or is it Michael Duncan?
It's Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay, Michael Clark Duncan. I thought he has a very intimidating voice, and he is a very big guy. So looking back, I remember liking him as a villain in that movie.
You know, I'll say this because it came out around the same time of the X-Men movies. At least this movie didn't shy away from their comic book accurate uniforms.
Right.
The X-Men did that. They went all black leather, pleather, whatever.
Yeah, they actually said to stay away from the comic book aspect.
Yeah, because they were going off the Matrix feel. So like, after Matrix was so successful, they're like, okay, let's make everybody look like the Matrix.
Yeah, I would put this in the middle category right there with Spider-Man is what I'd. Yeah, I wouldn't call it meh. It was
entertaining for what it was.
Yeah, it was a popcorn movie. That's what it was. You would spend money and go and watch a movie and then walk away, and kind of that was it.
Well, a lot of movies were like that back in the day. You know what I mean? A lot of them were pretty much like that. So
yeah, I'd give it the same. I'd say about watch again, middle category there.
Yeah.
You cool with that, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, I'd maybe put it in meh, but it's fine.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Netflix season 1 of Daredevil. So
Netflix,
a little catch up on this. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was a different studio, like a different TV studio than like Josh Whedon had when he was doing Avengers, and he started doing the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it was on ABC, and everyone else it didn't seem like it was on anybody's radar. Is that way? You guys got it?
I loved this show. I discovered it like right after it came out, and Daredevil was one of the comic book characters I really loved because he's just basically a punching bag. He loses a lot of fights, but he's your street level superhero. So when I watched this, the culmination of all the actors, I think most of the casting was spot on with, it was great. And this is honestly, in my opinion, is the best season of the Netflix seasons. But yeah, I hate that he didn't get into his uniform until like the end of the season, but they were building his character. He's in the uniform later, but yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, the fighting choreography is really fucking cool. The just nonstop fighting without any cuts.
And that hallway scene fight in the second episode of the first season was phenomenal.
Yeah, you don't see anybody pulling that off. Very good.
And I believe that was all in one cut, like you said.
Yeah, they've done it multiple times now, I think.
Yeah, I just miss that when a show like brought something new, to the scene and not just copied what everybody else was doing. So that that hallway scene, that one cut feel was awesome. You weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give that first season. I would say I'd give it the GOAT, but that's my personal opinion. Because it was a very tight season, very good. Well done.
I haven't seen it, but I guess I have to watch it now.
I've never seen it, so I can't give an opinion.
I would say I don't know how many of these other ones I've seen, but I would say this is, probably the best one out of any of them that I've seen. So for me, I think it would be the GOAT.
In the rules for this, we can put more than one in GOAT for now, and then at the end, we'll do a final, and then you can only have one GOAT.
I like this. Would you say he's the John McClane of superheroes? Because he gets the hell beat out of him. That's true.
All right, then we got season 2. So this was Punisher. Electro was in it. I think it was a half and half. Remind me, weren't they like 13 episodes? So they were pretty long.
12 episodes, which long compared to the seasons nowadays, but short compared to seasons from the past.
Right. But they really do a lot in 12 episodes.
I would take it back. I didn't realize we were actually breaking up in the seasons. Like you said, Alf. I think that when he got the suit finally was actually way better.
Yeah.
So I was thinking. I thought it was like the entirety, all seasons together.
Yep, I should have mentioned that we're breaking up into seasons.
Yeah, I would put that one over for season 1.
I think the Punisher in this season was done better than in his own show, which is also a Netflix show.
Yep.
I love the interaction between him and Punisher because Daredevil doesn't like to kill. He doesn't like to. He has morals because of his Christian faith, his Catholic faith. He has a line that he won't cross, as opposed to the Punisher, who is willing to do anything that he has to. So, in fact, there's a scene where him and the Punisher are going back and forth. Just a conversation on a rooftop, and they're both like yelling at each other. Their different viewpoints on how they do their job as vigilantes in quotation marks. But yeah, it's a great season. I would say GOAT, or at least the category below that at the minimum.
Yeah. Like I said, I put it over season 1, especially because of the Punisher. I was really confused with the Elektra storyline because I didn't know what the fuck was going on with that. I was so confused because
basically Stick, the old man that trained Daredevil, was also training her to be his helpful counterpart, whatever, to help him in the upcoming battle. So he didn't know that it was all a plan for them to meet in college and stuff like that.
Okay.
But then she gets in the whole evil side and stuff like that, known for her resurrection.
Yeah, that's the part that confused me. I'm like, I didn't know there was any paranormal stuff in Daredevil. So when that stuff started happening, like, what the fuck is going on? Is she a zombie now?
Yeah, it's Marvel though. There is magic in the Marvel universe, so that's where that comes from. It's more of a magical standpoint as opposed to.
Well, that's a good segue. Then it goes into the Defenders, where this was like the early team up, where you got the Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. These are all Netflix. They had I think one season at the time, and then after they all meet up in this Defenders show, then they kind of go back on their separate ways.
It was considered a mini series, and there's only so many episodes. I think it was very poorly pulled off. I think Sigourney Weaver being the big bad, I think was stupid. I think they should have picked someone bigger than that. The way they handled it, they did the Daredevil seasons. Even Kingpin would have been better as the end boss for this miniseries. But yeah, I don't think it was handled that well. I like all the characters other than the guy who plays Danny Rand, the Iron Fist. I thought he was kind of whiny and complainy a lot.
Him in that show was terrible.
But the other two actors that play Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I thought they were good. But I would put this in probably the middle category on the list at best.
Yeah, I put it meh. I was really looking forward to this because I really enjoyed the first season of Jessica Jones. I liked who's the black guy? What's that show?
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage was cool. The little fucking puny glowy fist guy was fucking stupid as shit. But I was looking forward and I was very disappointed. It was their attempt at a miniseries Avengers, and it did not work.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, Jessica Jones was interesting. It was a different perspective for that superhero. Yeah, and then the whole Danny Rand, he was just this like rich kid that gets in a plane crash in the mountains. Then he hangs out with monks for however long, then comes back and he knows nothing about New York City again or something. And so, yeah, it was a mess. I was hoping Defenders would be, just nonstop, fighting and be like, all right, let's see all of them together. Let's do this. And it didn't turn out very well. I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes.
I think it was, I think it was 6 episodes, but it was very, very short.
Yeah,
it was considered a mini series.
Okay.
But yeah, it took a long time for anything fun to even happen in it.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Like the middle episodes, that's where something really happened, and then it teetered off.
But yeah, I'd say meh, or maybe the category above it, but at best. But yeah, I'm good with meh.
Yeah, I have no need or want to watch it again. So
All right. Daredevil season 3. So this was the one with Bullseye mostly and Kingpin. So they got Kingpin into the prison. They did all the things right, and you put him behind bars, and then you kind of realize that Kingpin's kind of running the show from behind the bars.
I don't think.
And the wrap up from Defenders.
I liked the Bullseye character, and I think that's one thing they did right with the new Daredevil Born Again is the Bullseye character in Daredevil Born Again is awesome. But yeah, I think he was a good part of that season. This season was not as good as the previous 2 seasons. It had a little bit of a drop off in my opinion. Still rated pretty well. I mean, you can see the rating; it's a 93% there. But I would say it wasn't as good as the first 2 seasons, honestly. But yeah, I'd probably rate this in the own on physical media category. I wouldn't put it as GOAT.
Yeah, I liked having it new where the Bullseye was built up from like a broken dude, and Kingpin totally manipulated him into being that basically a second Daredevil, which I got like a Dark Avengers kind of theme kind of going on that where he's like replacing Daredevil. That was a cool aspect, but you could see that the show was kind of going down from there, and all the different mergers and acquisitions with Disney buying Fox and switching everything up. You could tell it was on its way out.
I believe it was after this season that Disney got them to cancel. I can't remember if it was this season or if it was the last Iron Fist season, but either way, they canceled any of the Netflix shows from then on out.
Yeah, not handled with care.
But yeah, I'd put it in that category right there.
Anybody seen She-Hulk?
Nope.
I've seen the memes.
Yep.
Does that count? Does the memes count?
That's all I've seen. I've heard people talk about it, and Daredevil was in it in a different costume and a yellow and red one.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
This show
it was basically her fling, one night stand, walk of shame home.
Wow.
Yeah, they humiliated him. It was. Yeah, I didn't watch. I think I watched the first episode out of curiosity, and then I watched the last episode because of how stupid, weird shit they did.
Gladly, in Born Again, they do not reference this shit at all.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking show, and yeah, they just humiliated him. This has got to be like, just take it off the fucking chart bad.
Oh yeah, MIB pen, Men in Black.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't think we have to even argue here. It's in that last category.
Oh, I just got that. Okay.
Yeah. And it's gone.
And I don't want to remember
Where am I?
at all.
Who am I?
Yeah, I was telling Alf, I watched the first episode because that's like one of the first things that came off of Endgame. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I remember that one scene where they show her walking in the office, and I wish I had that video, but it looks like a PlayStation 2 character walking in the office. The CGI was so bad that it looked like Laura Croft with the pointy boobs walking into an office, you know.
It was rough. Like, I'm not great at, like, I'm starting to understand like editing and everything and cinematography, and it was just not good. She was in a court. I think that's around the same time that you're talking about it. And I guess that was an episode that should have been last, and they put it up front, and they didn't know what they were doing.
There's the twerking scene. There's
fuck.
There's
twerking.
Fucking Hulk talking about
She-Hulk is twerking.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj in that scene too, or some shit like that.
Yes,
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Or
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion, yeah. You got her fucking like getting on the Hulk saying you don't understand how it is to maintain order anger because you're not a woman. I have to deal with men catcalling all the time and blah blah blah. Like, dude, the Hulk literally had to fucking fight Thanos.
Well, and he almost Control-Alt-Deleted himself too. Like at the end of the first Hulk movie, like he put a gun in his mouth and the Hulk sped it out.
But her having to do a mencac on is so much more difficult.
He did the thing, and the Hulk spit it out. Like, he knows what pain is. What's up? Oh. Yeah, we can MIB that
yeah,
show.
I'm good with that.
All right, then just a small appearance in Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man No Way Home. So he came in right when everyone found out Spider-Man's identity, and he came in and he's told Peter what's going on, and it was just a small scene. But they throw a brick through the window, and when Spider-Man's about to catch it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Catches it first.
Yeah, when he catches it and they reveal it's him, that was fucking cool as shit.
I really enjoyed that scene. It was such a short scene, and I wish he had been in that movie more. But the fact they put him in there and then like he does what he does, I really enjoyed that. It was a really good scene.
And you got Favreau in there playing Happy Hogan, who played Foggy in the 90s movie.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Holy crap.
Yeah, well, that was good. That's another example of where it's done with care. They can kind of connect the dots and connect the universes, and in a good way.
And the movie was great. It was so fucking good.
Oh, that was a
three
fun
Spider-Men together was so well done. I feel like this has got to be in the GOAT. I forgot. I didn't even realize this one was in there. I fucking loved it.
I wish it would have been a trial appearance. That's when I would have seen a good trial episode with, Spider-Man in there and Matt Murdock, and
I would have loved to seen a live action Daredevil and Spider-Man like working together. I mean, they could have worked that into that movie more, but
I thought it was fine as a cameo.
Yeah, it's fine, but I think they could have done more with it.
Yeah, but think about it. They had to focus on it being about, the multiverse and the other Spider-Man and all that. So maybe, sometime in the future, hopefully we can get that. That'd be fucking awesome. But
yeah. Sony can work out their deals with Marvel back and forth either way, leasing them out.
I'd put in the either GOAT or own on physical media. One of those two.
I say physical media.
Yeah,
I say I would rewatch that movie more than the Daredevil series that we got up in GOAT.
Steven, you seen this one? Spider-Man?
I haven't. I do love, though. I've seen the prior ones in that reboot, and they've been doing a great job with Spider-Man. So, I haven't seen it. Apparently, I have to watch it now, though. So
there you go.
It's my favorite movie out of all the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard people say good things about it before for some of those Spider-Mans. I forget which ones. There's so many, it's hard to keep track sometimes,
Yeah, there's a lot. All right, well then after that, great appearance, and then we get Echo.
Echo.
I have not seen Echo at all. I watched
haven't either.
And other people's recap of this, but
again, I wasn't taking that bullet.
What's the concept of this show, Echo? It's Daredevil.
Yeah,
well,
he goes into a hallway and hears an echo.
Yeah,
it was so based off sonar perception, or is it like?
So Kingpin trained Echo, or he trained her to be an extra counterpart, to Daredevil. She was young at the time, or maybe it was 10 years younger. But so we find that out in the Hawkeye show on Disney Plus after Endgame and everything like that. Right. And then at the end, she turns on him, or he turns on her, or whatever the deal is. And then it ends with her shooting Kingpin in the eye with a gun. And then supposedly he heals up from that. And then she gets her own show. And then they're fighting back and forth. And I guess it's just crazy.
Echo, the whole concept behind Echo in the comics was that, yes, she was deaf. I don't remember if she had a fake leg or whatnot, but she was called Echo because she was almost like the Taskmaster, and she could echo your entire movements in a fight. That's why she was called Echo, not because of echolocation and whatnot. But
I see.
Yeah, she could echo your movements in a fight and be almost like perfect.
And she was blind. That was like the superpower.
Well, no, she was deaf. She wasn't blind.
Deaf. Okay, deaf. Okay.
But she could, in a fight, she could echo all your movements and be almost a perfect counter to whatever you're trying to do.
Okay, so that makes sense.
kind of like a picture memory type deal.
Yeah,
where
but they ruined her in the shows. You know.
Yeah, they could have done it better. So like instead of like Daredevil's, he doesn't have his eyesight, so his hearing and his other senses are better. Where her, she can't hear, but she can see better, see and understand. So you do your combo moves, she gets hit with that once, and then she knows it, and then you can't use that same thing on her again.
Right.
But
I love Manliness's comments.
Yeah,
he has sex with a She-Hulk and hears an echo.
Well, She-Hulk was a whore in that show. Didn't she have sex with like 3 guys in the matter of like 5 episodes?
Yeah,
from what I heard, yeah.
That's her superpower when she becomes a Hulk, is she turns into a big whore.
Super whore.
Super whore.
Probably break your dick off. You know what I mean? God damn.
Big vagina.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget about this one.
Put it in the MIB. Just leave it there. Forget about it.
Anybody opposed to that?
I'm good with it.
I think that was the controversy I was hearing about the new season, because we got to bring Daredevil back now, but you've killed off Kingpin by shooting him in the fucking head, and then some other shit happened. So
yeah, we'll get into that. Well, and then we'll talk about that.
He likes snoo.
So far, we just got the 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. But yeah, so we can talk a little bit about that. Kind of do non-spoilers right now, and then we'll get into it. But has anybody seen the first 2?
No.
I did.
Yep, me too. I guess there's gonna be 9 total.
Yeah. So here's what I have to say about it. I'm still indifferent. I'm watching it because people are saying it's good. Some people are saying it's bad. I'm giving it a shot. There's things I like about it. There's a couple things I don't like about it, and if we're going to get into that later after this ranking, I could talk about it then. But yeah, there's things I don't like. Things I understand. Some people are saying that they're equating Kingpin to Trump. I didn't see that. It's in the comics already before Trump was even considered running for president. Kingpin ran for mayor of New York in the comics, so it's well before that. So that it happened before Trump was even a thing in politics. So I'm good with giving it a shot, but there's some things that are kind of on the nose, in my opinion. But I'll leave it at that until we discuss any spoilers.
Yeah, well, the premise is that Netflix could have been done with the series, when Disney bought Fox and everything else, and they put it all. I thought this was going to be the one that was going to be scrapped, but instead they said we're gonna finish it off. We're gonna bring it back, and it's been through some reshoots. It had a different set of writers. It was going to be a whole different writer set, and they're seeing what it looked like, the test screenings, and they're like, nope, this is not going to work. So they went back and got back the actors, the writers. They figured out some kind of deal to get everybody back on board, but it doesn't look like it's panning out.
Like I said, there's some good stuff in it. I guess me and you are the only ones that watched it.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's some good stuff in it I liked a lot. There's some stuff that I was like, okay, that's on the nose, but I'll leave it at that. So I would put it in the middle category, the watch again, need to watch. But I'll leave it there. And I guess it's just me and you ranking this. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, my only opinion that I could put in is that someone recommended to me, and that's pretty much all I could really say about that. They said it was a pretty good show that I should watch. So
I'm surprised
I just had the memories of the show previously. So it's
I'll
tough.
say this: the bullseye scene where he's fighting Daredevil is pretty damn awesome. I'll put it that way. But yeah, there's little things that bother me, but I'm gonna give it a shot the rest of the season. We'll see what happens. I hear the later episodes get much better, like quicker pace. But yeah, this show is definitely faster paced than the Netflix version of Daredevil.
Yeah, and that'll be the change too. You can't just binge watch the whole, 12 episodes or whatever it was. You got to watch it on Disney Plus 2 or 1 episodes at a time.